has you ever really stopped to think about time? I mean, really think. Do you feel it like a river just constantly flowing, carrying you along? Or maybe is it something else entirely? Maybe not even real. Today, we're doing a deep dive right into that very question. It's all sparked by Dr. Alina Rao's incredible experiment. She put herself in a quantum simulation chamber to test this wild idea. What if time isn't?
That's the core of it. And for this deep dive, we're going to explore 3 really fascinating, almost mind-bending ways to look at time. We'll start big, cosmologically speaking, and then zoom right down into our own heads, neurologically.
Okay.
The goal here is to pull out the key insights, maybe leave you looking at your own reality a bit differently.
Okay, let's get into it. Dr. Rao's first experience in the simulation. It sounds intense. She describes standing on a frozen street.
Right.
Think about that. Kids caught mid-laugh, birds just hanging in the air, paused, nothing moving at all.
Utterly still, like a photograph, but, everywhere.
Exactly, like time itself just stopped.
Yeah. Well, what she experienced there was designed to show the block universe idea. It's actually rooted in Einstein's relativity. The concept is basically that everything past, present, future, it all exists simultaneously. It's not a sequence, not really. It just is.
Like a giant block of space-time.
You could think of it like that, or maybe like a huge stack of photographs all existing at once.
Right.
Our feeling of time passing, that's just our consciousness kind of moving through that stack, illuminating one photo after another.
Wow.
And Dr. Rao even saw glimpses of this herself as a teenager, then a professor, then much older, all somehow present in that same frozen moment.
So wait, if that's right, then every moment, every choice, it's already there. Part of the block.
In that view, yes. It's less about becoming and more about just being at different coordinates within that block.
That is profoundly weird. Okay, so from that frozen world, things changed dramatically for her.
They did. The simulation shifted. Suddenly, she's floating. Just floating in a void. Yeah, but filled with these flickering lights, equations sort of dancing around her, particles winking in and out of existence. Totally different feel.
Right. Sounds like reality itself was kind of breaking down. What was that showing about time?
That part illustrated time as something emergent. This comes from ideas in things like loop quantum gravity.
Emergent, meaning?
Meaning time isn't fundamental. It's not a basic building block of the universe. Instead, it sort of arises. It emerges from the relationships between events.
Okay. How does that work?
Think about temperature. Temperature isn't a thing on its own, right? It emerges from the average motion of lots of tiny particles.
Right, I get that.
So similarly, time might emerge from change itself. It's not causing the change. It's more like our description of the change. Events happen, things transform, and we perceive that transformation as time passing. Before and after only makes sense because something changed in relation to something else.
So time is like a shadow, a consequence of interactions, not the stage itself.
That's a good way to put it. A shadow or a byproduct of deeper connections. It's how we make sense of the sequence.
Okay, so for you listening, the takeaway there is maybe time isn't pushing things along. Maybe it's just the pattern we see because things are interacting and changing. Interesting.
Exactly.
And then there was a final phase.
Yes. The last simulation was different again. She found herself in a simple room, soft lighting, no windows, no props, just her and her thoughts.
Stripped down. What could that tell us about time?
This focused on time as something our brain constructs. Neuroscience gives us strong hints about this.
You mean we literally make time up in our heads?
Well, sort of. Our brain doesn't really perceive a smooth, continuous flow.
Yeah.
It's more like it takes snapshots what's happening right now, memories of the past, predictions about the future, and it stitches them all together. That feeling of now, it's actually always a tiny bit delayed because our brain needs time to process everything. The past, that's just memory traces. And the future, that's our brain running simulations, making predictions.
So if you didn't have memory,
there'd be no before. And without the ability to anticipate or predict,
no after. And without perceiving change.
No real now. In this view, time is essentially a mental model, a really useful one, but still a model built by our minds to make sense of motion, cause, and effect.
Okay, so let's pull this together. We've seen time as this fixed, eternal block.
Where everything just is.
Then as something that emerges from cosmic relationships, like a pattern.
Arising from change itself.
And finally as something our own brain creates, a sophisticated internal illusion.
Right. And Dr. Rao's final thought as she came out of the chamber really captured it all. She basically said, time doesn't flow, it's not a river, it's not even real.
Wow.
She called it an illusion built by our minds, shaped by relations, and painted over a universe where nothing truly happens because everything already is.
Everything already is. That's a lot to take in.
It is.
So here's the final thought for you to chew on. If everything already is, if time isn't really flowing like we feel it is, what does that do to your idea of choice, of growing as a person? What does it even mean to have a future? Something to really ponder